Once upon a time there was a young man named Elias, a man who had spent most of his life caught in the hustle and bustle of relationships, always searching for something that seemed to slip through his fingers. He was passionate, eager, and always giving more of himself than he had. But despite his efforts, he couldn't shake the feeling of emptiness. One day, as he wandered through the city, feeling lost, he came across an old bookstore. Inside, dusty tomes lined the shelves and the air smelled of wisdom long past. Elias pulled a book from the shelf titled, The Stoic Path to Wisdom and Love. Intrigued, he took it home, eager to find answers. The first lesson he learned was simple yet profound. 1. Guard your past. In the book he read, Guard your past, for it is not a map for others to navigate. What you have been through is your own to carry. Elias reflected on his past, the mistakes, the heartaches, the stories of pain he'd shared too freely with others. He had opened up too quickly, giving others access to parts of himself that they had not earned. The wisdom of the Stoics reminded him that his past was his own, something to learn from, but not something to parade in front of every new person he met. 2. Face the fear of being alone. As Elias continued reading, he came across the words, True wisdom begins with understanding yourself. Embrace solitude. Fear of being alone only clouds your judgment. He realized that for much of his life, he had been afraid of solitude, always seeking someone to fill the void, to avoid facing his own fears and insecurities. 3. Manage your time wisely. The third lesson came as a revelation. Time is the one thing you cannot reclaim. Spend it wisely. For too long, Elias had sacrificed his time, his precious hours, for people who didn't appreciate him. The Stoics warned against wasting time on fruitless relationships or shallow pursuits. Celebrate your achievements. One of the most poignant pieces of wisdom in the book was this. Do not seek approval from others. The greatest validation comes from within. Elias had spent too much of his life seeking external validation, chasing applause and admiration. But the Stoics reminded him that his achievements, big and small, were his to celebrate. The fifth lesson struck a chord with Elias. Never sacrifice your peace of mind for the comfort of others. He had often bent over backward for others, compromising his mental health in the process. He was reminded that no one had the right to disrupt his inner peace. 6. Be true to yourself. The words that followed were a gentle nudge. Live authentically, for only in being true to yourself can you find lasting peace. Elias had spent so many years trying to fit in, saying yes to things he hated, wearing a mask to please others. But now, he learned the art of saying no when necessary. 7. Don't sacrifice your path for others. One of the most profound teachings in the book was from Seneca. To follow someone else's path is to lose your own. Elias had been guilty of molding his life to match the expectations of others, whether family, friends, or partners. 8. Prioritize relationships with friends and family. Plato's words echoed in his mind. Surround yourself with people who help you grow, not those who drag you down. Elias realized that in his quest for romantic relationships, he had often neglected the very people who had always been there for him, his friends and family. 9. Avoid obsessive devotion. The final lesson from Marcus Aurelius was a reminder not to lose himself in another person. Do not become so devoted to one person that you forget your own worth. You are the star of your own story. Elias had been obsessive in his past relationships, losing sight of his own dreams, passions, and sense of self in the process. Elias's journey was long, but through the lens of Stoic wisdom he began to forge deeper, more meaningful connections, rooted in self-respect, growth, and mutual understanding. He learned that relationships, like life itself, were not about sacrificing oneself but about walking together with others in a way that enriched both parties. As he closed the book, he knew that this was just the beginning. The Stoic path was not one of perfection, but of continual growth and wisdom. And with each step forward, he became the man he was always meant to be.